Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content now, we'll talk about BTC on a 3D basis and what type of price action we could anticipate over the next like a few days or even like a few weeks going forward, right? So now when we take a look at BTC on a 3D basis, as you can see right here, price action dipped below our 3D 21 just about like the first week of December, and ever since we broke out below it, we still been making some lower highs right there. Okay, whenever we pumped it upside, bears stepped in and dumped the price lower. As you can see right here, today we just pumped like nearly, okay, on the 3D basis, we pumped like a nice 10%, nearly 10%, but could not basically get a sustainable push to the upside on the 3D basis, right? So if we take a look at our MACD, bulls been waiting for the MACD to flip bullish over the last few weeks, but it is still negative. As you can see, our sorry, it is extremely low, and it is exactly at the lowest point since like March 2020. So if we take a look at the RSI right here, it is at the lowest point since our March dump. It is not quite yet below it, right? The lowest point back in March 2020 was right around like a 26. So right now we just dumped, give or take, just about like a 28, 30, 30, right? So it is quite important. So even though the sell-off is pretty strong, it seems like while they still accumulating BTC around the weekly 100 EMA and all that good stuff. Okay, so on the 3D, we're still waiting for the bulls, still waiting for the 3D MACD to flip positive. And as soon as we get a positive MACD right here, that could potentially signal the bottom. It doesn't mean like, once again, BTC will pump as soon as we get the 3D MACD. It could do something like that. If you recall, back in May, June, July 2021, right there, that's when we got the MACD to flip positive, right? Just about like a 35, 36K area. But if you take a look at it, it dumped like 20% after that before we pushed to the upside. So something to keep in mind, the trend, it is still down, right? We have some macro support. If we take a look at the weekly time frame, we talk about the weekly 100 EMA, it is going to what support the price. And as you can see, BTC got a nice support. We did not close below the weekly 100 EMA. So in order to remain bearish, strongly bearish, Bitcoin will need to bears actually, okay, will need to push the price down below the weekly 100 EMA, open and close a candle below it. That could be severe over the next like a few weeks after that. As you can see right here, as soon as we open and close a candle below the weekly 21 EMA, what we said was like 51.7, 52K area going to be what? Going to be a resistance right there. So, and that region coincided with the weekly 21 EMA, and as you can see, we dumped all the way down to our target weekly 100 EMA. So just keep in mind, guys, the trend, even though the trend it is still down, we just have to respect these macro support, weekly 100 EMA, right? Monthly 21 EMA right there. So we're not closing yet below the monthly 21 EMA. Okay, so even a close below the monthly 21 EMA doesn't even guarantee like bears will get 30K. So I know most bears are waiting for like a 30K and all that good stuff, but guys, we just have to be very cautious. So for instance, if you bought BTC right around like 6K, 5K, 4K right here, does it matter right now? Okay, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be like, okay, I bought BTC at 6K, but it dumped down to 4K. But I'm selling now above like 40K and all that good stuff, or even like a 60K, right? So if we go back to 2020, right there, it took forever to get a candle close below the monthly 21 EMA. Right here, it took like nearly over 4 months, okay, before we get a clean candle below, closing below the monthly 21 EMA and all that good stuff. So it is quite important to pay attention to a BTC on a macro level. The 6 hour time frame, daily time frame, and all of that good stuff, they're going to be quite volatile. But as long as we're not closing, below some macro support, the trend could still be, up for the next like a few months and all that good stuff. So if you take a look at it right here, back in, back in June, July, the monthly time frame did not close below the 35K area. So, and if you take a look at it right now, the current price we at, right? We at 37K. We open our June candle just about like 37 too. So exact same price. And if you take a look at the the percentage drop back in June, we dumped like 20%, but we did not close. Okay, we did not basically close below 35. So 35K, it is a very, very important key level. I know, once again, most bulls and bears, they eyeing the 30K. Could we drop down to 30K? Absolutely, we could. We could drop down to 30K. But if I'm looking for the macro, the macro directional move right to the upside, if you look back in the next, like, let's say in the next like 3 to 5 years, you're going to be like, why was I waiting for 30K when BTC was at 35? You see what I'm saying? So same thing as, when BTC was right around like 6K, you're gonna be like, why was I waiting for 5K? Okay, so something to keep in mind: the trend for BTC on a macro level, it is still up, and on the yearly cycle, we talk about the yearly cycle. Let's take a look at BTC on the 12-month. On the 12-month time frame, right? So we haven't seen yet BTC closing below the previous yearly cycle low. Okay, since like 2009 and all that good stuff, right? As you can see right here, 2017, even though 2018 was pretty bearish and everybody was calling for all those lower numbers, 1K BTC, we did not close below the 2017 lows. Okay, and 2019 we did not close below the 2018 lows, and 2020 right here we just retested the 2019 open, right? Candle open just about like a 38 and all that good stuff, but we did not close below it. So I don't expect, okay, it is not financial advice, but I don't expect like a BTC closing below 30K on the yearly cycle. Could it close below it? It could, but based on the price history, our 12 years price history, right, we could rely on the macro level over the next like a few years. Like BTC could take forever to close a candle below below the previous yearly cycle low. It doesn't mean it cannot drop, but all I'm saying, like, closing below 30K in 2022 could be quite crucial, right? If we do, because we haven't seen it yet, so it could be a new trend we will we will pay attention to and all that good stuff. Okay, so on a quarterly basis, if we take a look at it, we got our quarterly 21 EMA right around like 20K. Okay, so even if we wick down to 20K, right, and bulls most likely and whales, they're going to be accumulating BTC around this level, right? Because you're looking at like 250K, 300K, and all that good stuff on our next macro target. So looking back in the next like few years, you're gonna be like, okay, why was I waiting? Why I was waiting for BTC to drop down to 30K and all that good stuff? Okay, when BTC was at 30K. So we just have to be patient. Yes, the trend in the short to medium term, based on our 3D time frame, as we said, it is down. Okay, it is down. So we got to wait for our MACD on our 3D basis to basically flip bullish, and we could get some reversal short to medium term, and it could basically ended up being like some macro reversal and all that good stuff over the next like a few few weeks and all that, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.